Welcome to Krav Life, Mr. Idan.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about you and your beginnings. All right.
Okay.
So when and how did you get involved in the martial arts?
Okay, so I'm not martial artist. I enjoy to when I live in Israel, I enjoy to the IDF, and I serve as a combat soldier in Golani, and this is where I exposed to Krav Maga, like every commando unit goes through his training program. So this is my first time I start basically train, if you want to call it martial arts or Krav Maga.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't have any experience in martial arts or fight training before that? It was all IDF training?
Yeah, it's all be IDF. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so how long were you in? Tell us about your experiences and how long were you in the military in Israel?
Okay, so I served from 1994, 1994 until 2000, and then I joined the Israeli security forces. Then in total, I finished from 1994 until 2005. Yeah.
Oh wow, so that's quite the career, right? So like 11 years there, and then after your military career, what did you do?
After my military career, I done a lot of security projects in Israel, also close protection. Then work a lot in Africa and Europe. And then I arrived to South Africa and start the Kalah system. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your Kalah system. So obviously it's based in the stuff that you learned in the military, and then the other things that you picked up along the way, doing security and different projects. So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so first of all, Kalah no, it's not correct to say. Let's say the hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
Nothing connect to the military or to hand-to-hand combat. I learned in my unit because, like I say to you, and I said that very clear, and I'm very loud about that. I never believe Krav Maga is so realistic. Yes, we have a lots of aggression exercise and to be aggressive and to be how you say that, not to give up, and this kind of drill are very important. But when it's come to the techniques, the principle of defense, this is where I find in my heart, and not only me, also my brother in arms, other fighters, we all knew this is not how it's working in the combat field. If you're going in Gaza or in I don't know what, in Lebanon, or you're not got to block and punch a terrorist with the knife. It's just not work like that. It's the reality. So Kalah is basically what I believe it's completely, for me, gift from God, and because after my army, I done more very much high risk projects, and I've been exposed to more close contact, because in the military I've been more dealing with bush warfare and urban warfare, so not much hand to hand. But after my army, I was exposed more to really dangerous situation in very, very close combat. Then I realized a lots of missing in the self-defense of Krav Maga when it's come to the realistic approach.
Okay. So, so help us understand what is this missing element that is missing from that you believe
Okay,
is
look.
missing from Krav Maga?
Okay, so first of all, the element I just want you to, for you to understand, it's I'm training Krav Maga organization now for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
Different Krav Maga organization, different special forces around the world, including Israeli member special forces. So a lot of missing because if we talk the principle of, let's say, knife defense, okay,
Right.
and it's not matter if it's the ice pick or straight or slash or threat, okay, the techniques are not realistic at all for somebody to be able to survive or to have a better chance to survive, because self-defense is just a chance. Nothing is guaranteed and nothing got to be perfect. And this I understand, I agree. But if you teach someone, by example, to release a punch and defense in the same times, in under stress situation, when a real blade flying to your face with real attack want to kill you, not a partner in the dojo, your brain cannot apply 100% defense and 100% punch in a stress situation. It's just impossible. So what missing in Krav Maga, it's realistic principle of defense. You can be aggressive how much you want to. You can have a beautiful aggression, but the attacker also aggressive. The attacker also want to survive. He also aggressive. And I think the principle of defense, especially when it comes to weapon, gun defense, knife defense, rifle defense, stick defense, are very, very, very poor.
Okay. So you're saying that that the concept of simultaneous defense and attack is not realistic.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you a story. I done three seminars in Israel. I take a volunteer from the Israeli Special Forces. Yamas is the Israeli counter-terror, and I take the instructor of Krav Maga, okay? And I say, you come, punch and punch me and block and punch me, knock me out, let's see. And it's not be a real knife, it be a plastic button, okay? And I say, but I'm coming attacking you. I'm coming like a terrorist, and let's see the result. So he agreed to do that, the experiments in front of everyone, and it's finishing disaster result. He be stabbed about 50 times. So yeah, it's impossible.
Okay, so let's say it's impossible then. So what would you recommend the proper training method would be in that case? How would you train someone?
Okay, so I said thank God, and I say I realized from my experience and many years of testing things under stress, I realized under stress a brain can apply one command at a time.
Right.
And the first things we need to make sure, if we're talking about now knife defense, is to have a proper control, not a block, control of the arms of the attacker. Because the moment we have a control, if this control can hold, if we can hold the control between 3 to 7 seconds, the brain can release the other file of now you can apply the damage. Now you can give the groin shot, or you can give the bite, or you can give the headbutt or short elbow and back to the control. So the first things you need to have, it's a proper control of the arms of the attacker before you want to start to strike.
Okay. So tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to understand your concepts. So what you're saying is the mind can only do one thing at a time. So
under stress, yes.
Right. Under stress, yes, of course. So when you're teaching, are you saying that it's more important to teach the student to do one thing at a time? Right. So get control and then move on from there to the next step and then to the next step.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And is this the same approach that you use in teaching like regular hand, like just unarmed combat, unarmed self-defense, or does that apply more to the gun and knife and stick?
Okay, so in Kalah, at least I I applied it in let's say in unarmed combat, and I also applied this in weapon defense. So basically, I use this kind of control, okay, in different approach. So yes,
Okay.
if it's a weapon defense or even a grab,
Right.
a grab defense or choke from the front, I will use a lot of control before I'm going to the damage. Yeah.
Okay. So you have control as the first step, and then the second step would be is it damage is the second step, or is there another step in between those two?
No, it's not between. First is I always say to people, if you're in a situation like a hostage situation with the knife or gun, first of all, pray to God, be with you, not against you.
Mm-hmm.
Second, learn to communicate under stress, specifically if you're in a hostage situation. If somebody hostile you, you need to know how to communicate under stress. Very important. People think just to say, please don't hurt me or don't shoot me, it's the right things to do. No, not at all. You need to know how to listen under stress. You need to know what to say, not what not to say under stress. And you need to know how to find opportunity, to recognize where you have the opportunity to apply the move. You cannot force the move. You cannot force self-defense. You cannot force to defend yourself. It's to recognize the opportunity and make sure when you have the opportunity, you not waste it. I find out Krav Maga, in my humble experience, it's always about you punish the attacker, you punching him, you kicking him, it's not work like that in reality. You're not punishing him. You're surviving. You always got to be the underdog most of the time. Most of the time, the reality will catch you by surprise, 90% of the time. So always come from, I always say that don't be hero so quickly, because you will become zero much more quickly. Start from point zero, then you have a chance to become a hero. So yeah. So pray to God, communicate, find the control, and fight. And when you have the control, give a damage like an animal, like not tomorrow.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Now, when you're teaching, where do you start? Like with someone brand new, what is one of the first things that you try to instill in your students?
Okay, this is a very good question. So first of all, for me, it's important when I have a new student, I want to see, and I want to see if he understands what is self-defense, because many people influence with online videos and movies, and people think, it's cool, it's fast. So what I'm doing, first of all, in the first class, I show CCTV footage around the world. What is a knife attack? What is a gun attack? What is a 2 people or 3 people jumping on a guy in the bar and put him in ICU? So my job is, first of all, to open the brain of the student, no matter if it's a male or a female, to understand, hey, this is not a game, it's not a movie, not any shortcut. And then I will see if he really want to learn self-defense, or he come here to have a good time and have a good physique and to learn some cool tricks and stuff like that. So my first things is because everybody have this pink bubble when it comes to self-defense, everything and this is the first things I do to the student, to put them, I make the reality in front the eyes. And now you have a choice, or you want to confront it, or the door of the studio door is always open, and you can go and look for something more cool. This is the first things I do.
Good. And then assuming that they are serious about self-defense, at the beginning levels, what do you have them focusing on, both mentally and physically? What do you have them focusing on?
Okay, first of all, I am focusing to develop the mindset, because first of all, I want people, first of all, to understand we are all human beings. We are not Superman or not superhero. The superhero only I know it's a man upstairs. We are only human beings. So first of all, my job is to take the ego out. A lot of people come with ego, and so take the ego out, first of all. Second, we teach them to submit to a situation. When you submit to a situation, you basically, okay, it's very difficult to submit under stress and under pain. I will give an example. I live in South Africa. South Africa is one of the most dangerous countries currently in the world. I mean, violence here, it's like, I don't know what. It's like people get killed here with a knife, with a knife or a gun, like you brush your teeth every morning. I'm not kidding. So I'm teaching the people, you need to learn to submit to the situation. If somebody come and give you a bomb and slap on your face, okay, you can't now take all your ego and your aggression and you want to punch him back. Because maybe I slap you once and in my other hand I have the knife and you don't even see that and you react. And then you get stabbed 15 times to death, or I have a gun. So what I'm trying to say, I'm teaching them, first of all, the mentality of to get this impact and not to react yet. Because if you react from aggression and from anger, you will see your ass off very quickly, at least where I live in South Africa, when every pimple have a gun or a knife under his sleeve, you know. So the first thing is to take the ego out and to know how to get the pain and still not to react. This is the first things to do, I do with my students.
And are you getting them to use that opportunity where they're not reacting to assess the situation and then kind of figure out what they're going to do? Is that the idea behind it?
Yes, the idea is, first of all, to assess the situation under stress and under tunnel vision, because in that situation you have a tunnel vision and stress and panic. So they need to little bit open the tunnel vision and to see if what they're dealing with. Okay, this is the first things. I need to see what I'm dealing with. Maybe the guy close to me have a knife on my throat. Okay, but if I'm open my eyes a little bit and I see the guy, I see his body or his friend 3 meters with a, okay, I take situation in South Africa with a shotgun, then I can't do nothing, you know. I can't. And this another, also to realize you cannot do something, it also can save your life, because the moment you just want to react, so I have a knife in your throat here and you learn to react, but my body with AK-47, 3 meters of, and you don't see him, you're dead, my friend. Game over. Even if you give me a knockout, you're dead. So, yes, so exactly what you say, I'm teaching them to absorb under stress and to recognize the opportunity or not to recognize the opportunity. And just then we can start to learn the principle of defense in different situations.
Oh, nice. Now you have students all over the world, correct?
Correct.
All right. And do you? So you said we all know South Africa is violent. Does your system, does Kalah adapt itself to the environment it's in? Because when you're teaching in, Canada, in Toronto, the violence there is not the same as the violence in Johannesburg. So does Kalah adapt itself to wherever it is in the world, or is it just you do the same thing, doesn't matter where you are?
Okay, it's a good question. I'm not adapting to no one. No matter if I'm going to Canada or Switzerland or I don't know what, because in my humble opinion, if reality catch you by surprise, knife attack, it will be knife attack. Maybe in Canada you don't have a knife attack now. Maybe in 2 years or 3 years it's got to be knife attack. It's got to be the same brutality, the same movement, maybe different language, maybe different motive, but it's got to be the same things, you know. So my job as a self-defense teacher is not to, and this is how funny is the industry is. It's like, okay, in Canada, nothing happened, okay? And then suddenly got to have, let's say, active shooter in Canada. Now everybody want to learn, now we need to learn to defend against active shooter. But it's a bit too late. You need to learn before, and this exactly, when I be invited to Europe, I remember my face, people say, Dan, you crazy, this is Europe. What you're doing is not South Africa, it's not Israel. I said, guys, situation can change, And now Kalah is so famous in Europe because Europe now is not a Europe of, let's say, 30 years. France is not France anymore, and Italy is not Italy anymore. So now people realize what I say many years, how much is true. So I'm not adapt to no one. I'm adapting to the reality. That's it.
Okay, so you're kind of acting. So it's kind of like insurance, right? You train for what could happen, not necessarily the reality that's right now. So you could live in the safest place in the world, but that doesn't mean in 2 years it's going to be safe anymore. So you have to know before.
Okay, it's true.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question.
Yep.
Bar fight in Canada is not different from bar fight in South Africa. Bar fight is a bar fight.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true.
Knife attack is a knife attack. When it's got to happen, only God knows. I need to be prepared for that and my student. That's all.
Nice. And so how many studios are there teaching Kalah?
Sure, studio. Okay, so we are studio. It's a good question. I think we are over 30 countries, 30. Okay. So I mean, I think we are about 170 studio around the world in total. And then we have the law enforcement part, the special forces, special forces and federal police and army unit training Kalah system. Yeah.
Okay. And obviously they learn completely different material from the civilians, or is it the same?
Look, of course, with the military, we also teach the tactical training, but when it's come to knife defense, I will not teach any. I will not teach differently. Okay, I always say in my seminars, I take example of I take one civilian and one combat soldier, and I ask the people who need to train harder knife defense, So everybody say the soldier. And I said, why the soldier need to train harder how to defend against knife? The soldier have his brother in arm. The soldier have his bulletproof vest. He have a long weapon, short weapon. He have a backup. Even he can do more. He can even take a how you call that decision of if need to neutralize the attacker. What the civilians have? What the civilians have? The civilians, what you have when you're walking in the street? It's you by yourself, not weapon, not any protection. You don't have any buzzer in arms. You don't have any gun or rifle. You don't have anything. And people, their eyes is open like, hey, you know what? You have a point. So as a soldier, I will train the soldier. If you have a knife attack, okay, you need to go in to have control, okay? Yes, give 1, 2, or 3 damage, okay? You see the attacker is a little bit out from balance, pushing, okay, take your rifle, point or your gun, control the situation. You don't need to fight there forever. But the civilians don't have this privilege to pull back. The civilians need to make sure the attacker is mobilized, is minimum, I don't know, out from that, And so my point is, when it's come to hand-to-hand combat, I don't see any difference between civilians and a soldier. Of course, when it's come to tactical training, then definitely this is where's the big difference.
Okay, nice. And so you've trained. So you train police, you train military. What are some of the military groups that you've had the privilege of training with?
Well, I have a lot. Okay, I have the Brazilians units, police units. I have the Israelis. I have the Spanish, the Italian, the French, the Netherlands, the parachuter of UK. So I have quite a lot of experience to train these warriors. And again, in the beginning, I'd be shocked to see how much I find out from my humble experience, the weakest point of the military or the law enforcement around the world, is the hand-to-hand combat. They are, they train so far from reality when it's come to hand-to-hand combat. When it's come to bush warfare or urban warfare, most of them doing amazing job. But when it's come to hand-to-hand combat, it's quite shocking to see, I think, how much they not put realistic emphasis, and it's just part of the program just to build discipline or to build coordination or to build some aggression, and that's it. So yeah.
Nice. So what do you see as the future of your organization? Like, where do you want to take it over the next decade or two?
Okay, by grace of God, I want Kalah continue what he's doing to the self-defense industry. I'm very glad to see more and more Krav Maga organization around the world start to emphasize the principle of Kalah. I like to see Kalah influence more schools, organization of self-defense to stop to look on the student as a, almost like what they see. I think it's more the wallet of the student to pay the money every month of the membership and more the life. I think the self-defense industry is so rotten because of corruption, and people buy belts and certificates and everything. It's money, but people don't see human being life. When you teach someone knife defense, you understand what you're putting on your shoulder. Do you understand what you put? And I don't care if you live in Canada and Switzerland. If you take decision to teach something, first of all, you teach something you never face. You never face a gun to your head, and you teach your student gun to the head. Okay, so you teach something you even don't be. Okay, so do you understand what you're doing? Okay, so I hope, and I can see it's happen, Kalah continue changing instructors around the world. And they don't need to call this Kalah. The name is not important. Call this Mickey Mouse. Who cares what the name it is? Okay? The important, I want the Kalah continue to how people say it's the evolution of Krav Maga. I don't care what you want to call it, but just to be more serious about that, And this is what I want Kalah to do. And it's continue like that, but still we have a lot of work to do.
So you feel that as an industry that we're not training as seriously as we should be?
No, definitely not. Yeah. If I see, I don't know, I don't want to lie. If I've been in different Krav Maga organizations around the world, I don't know, from expert level, I know you have this expert level and expert 1 and expert 2, or some people have the black belts. And if I take a guy, call himself expert, or he gets a certificate, expert 2, and I come with a plastic bottle, and he cannot defend himself against knife, and he gets stabbed 50 times, 50, I understand in a knife attack you will get injured. I don't say, I'm not looking you, I understand, but if you get 50 times stabs, 50, and then it's something wrong, and you don't want to change it because of your ego, or because it's come from Israel and we still do the block and the punch, leave it. Your ego got to kill you. Who cares where it's come from? I pray and salute Imi Lichtenstein, what he done for Israel as a fighter in the Second World War. I disagree of 80% of principle of defense, okay? But he's a warrior. What he done, what he done in the Second World War, it's amazing to the Jewish people, but don't continue something you can see it's wrong and you say, no, I continue that because it's come from Imi. Man, if this is your mentality, well, good luck to you.
Okay, so it's more important to make sure that your students can defend themselves than to uphold tradition.
I think, yes. I think tradition should not to be the first priority if you learn self-defense. I don't think it's important where it's come from and what is tradition, the history. The most important, if I'm learning something effectively and realistically. That's it.
Now, is your philosophy in Kalah to, like, let's say you find a new defense, someone comes up with something better than what you're teaching for self-defense, does Kalah go, you know what, that's better, so let's do that now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If somebody come better and not try to convince me on Facebook is better,
yeah,
he try to show me practically, look, it's better. And it's happened to me once or twice.
Oh, yeah?
Happened to me, happened to me. Okay, happened to me one time in Italy. The guy be surprised. I say, Alberto, teach me. He said, what? I say, yeah, teach me. Teach me. He said, I teach you. I say, yes, because what I teach, what I show you, yours is better. So yeah, definitely. If you have something better, practically, welcome.
So as long as it can be proven under stress and all those circumstances, then that's what we should go with, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you. And for the most part, I think that is part of the philosophy in Krav Maga, but it just might not be practiced. Because I know a lot of instructors in Krav Maga talk about that, but I don't know that a lot of them practice it.
I'm sure you know the logo of the Krav Maga. You know, they say they keep the logo, the letter Kuf. You know Kuf in Hebrew? Yeah. They say they leave it open because the philosophy of IME at least it's open because Krav Maga still need to develop and to learn.
Exactly.
For what I see for my 17 years of traveling around the world, I see this it's open for corruption and money and more certificate and not any development whatsoever, no any will, even not the will, the will. Every time you say to a Krav Maga instructor or school, come, let's challenge each other. Challenge, are you crazy? You always want to challenge. I say, what's wrong with the word challenge? What is wrong about that? What is wrong if you can show me better knife defense practically, and you can show me why I cannot benefit from that, even if I finish with the blue eyes or I don't know what. Why in MMA, in a sport, is acceptable to fight each other, and in self-defense, when self-defense is much more brutal from any MMA fight, because when they go into the ring, okay, they go in the same weight. The referees say what is allowed, what is not allowed. You feel tired, you just need to tap out, or just you say you give up. In reality, we don't have all this benefit. We don't. Why the self-defense industry not challenging each other from a good point, okay? Not to be a brutal, okay? But Krav Maga will not do it, because Krav Maga built the name. Israeli Special Forces use Krav Maga, the IDF use Krav Maga, and it's not true at all. If we want to go more deep to that, we can go more. It's not it's illusion of around the world what people think, but okay. Because how the Israelis, the instructors say, Dan, we make €1 million a year. We happy. Okay, if this is your goal in life, 100%.
So let's talk a little bit more about. So you said that it's an illusion that Krav Maga is what is being used by the Israeli Defense Forces and Special Forces. Can you explain that a bit more?
If you give me time, I will explain.
Yeah.
Okay. 100%. So you have this illusion around the world. Every Israeli combat soldier or commando or special forces is the expert of hand-to-hand combat, and he can defend himself against knife, against guns, against rifle, and sector and sector. Do you know in the program? So let's say Israeli special forces soldiers, he will have 1 year and 6 months training to qualify as a commando. Okay. In that part, you have maybe, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 months every day Krav Maga, okay, session. Let's take the Krav Maga session. It's about 2 hours to 3 hours a day. Okay, 90% of that session is to fuck up the soldier. Okay, meaning aggression exercise, stress exercise, you sparring against 2 or 3 people, and a lot of drill to build what? Your mindset. Very good. I agree with that. Okay, but when it's come to techniques, okay, it will be maybe 1 hour or half an hour, and they will show them some knife defense, and nobody even take it seriously. Okay, so my point is, a Krav Maga session in the commando units or combat units is not to teach the soldiers how to deal with the knife attack properly. Okay, do you think a soldier learn how to defend against gun or rifle, or he learn how to deal with 2 people running to him with 2 people with a knife? No, they don't do it. They don't do it. In fact, 2 years ago, it's been a big article in Israel, and I have it on my phone. It's in Hebrew. How Krav Maga, lots of special forces in Israel say it's time to change our curriculum. We want to do something else. In fact, some special forces decide to say we do in-house training now. We don't do this Krav Maga curriculum if it's come from Wingate or come from the Lotar, from the Israeli anti-terror school. We say no, we will do our in-house. And I don't want to mention Unity just to make it too obvious, but you in this time you have a lot of confusion or a lot of argument to say, hey, we need to do something about that. And Israeli units, special forces and commando looking for other solution.
So if they don't train the typical gun defenses and everything, so where did all that training come from then?
I think the gun defense and all these things, I think, if you ask my humble opinion, I think it's come from someone. I think Imi is one of the guy developed Krav Maga. I hope I'm not mistaken. Maybe Eli Avikzar and other name. But I think he teach this gun defense, and his students start to take it more to the civilians sector, and this way it's come from. It's not come from the military, definitely not. Because also if you ask any commander in Israel, commander of combat soldier or special forces, he tell you, we are not dealing with the terrorist with end-to-end. 90% is a firepower. We don't have a time now. The soldier need to be more strong in how to do SWAT or urban warfare or bush warfare or a lot of tactical training with the weapon and teamwork, etc., and navigation and camouflage. It's a hand-to-end combat, and this is the problem. Hand-to-end combat is it's not like something so important. Okay, so is the 50% of the Krav Maga is important for them? Is the aggression? Is the soldier need to be strong in the mind? But in what I'm saying, I say, like, imagine you say to me, I'm fucking strong, I have a good mentality, I'm physically, give me the gun, I want to shoot. But if I'm not teaching you the right way, yes, to use this gun, you can be aggressive until tomorrow, and you will not hit the target, my friend. And this is the problem of Krav Maga. I'm aggressive, I block a punch, I take him down. No, my man, you not take him down. It's not work like that. It's not work like that.
So basically what you're saying is that what Krav Maga is used for in the military is just aggression training, for mindset training.
80%, definitely.
So it's not used for the actual self-defenses. It's just a mindset training program.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now,
and also this be diluted. Also this go down. In the 80s or early 90s, Krav Maga, when it's come to make the soldiers are ready mentally, it's be so strong and so brutal, and people used to pass out there, and lots of injuries and stuff like that, and all these things come out to the media in Israel to the news, and now they dilute it completely. So even that is diluted. Yeah.
Now, are there in your opinion, are there self-defenses within Krav Maga that are worthwhile? Like Krav Maga can't be completely useless, right? It's got to have some redeeming qualities. Like, is there anything that that can be built off of with Krav Maga?
Look, I'm sure you have a good Krav Maga. I don't know them. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very believe in my heart. You have these small schools. If you talk about the big schools, no. All the big schools, all the big names are completely money-making business. Nothing is efficient. If you take it, if I'm honest with you, all the big schools, okay, all the big schools. But I believe, and I know in my heart, and I believe, you have these small schools, okay, more like underground or not famous. I'm sure they are, how you say that, rock and roll. I'm sure they are training correctly, close to the reality. I am sure. I want to believe it. Yes, I want to believe it. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So this has been very interesting. I've enjoyed talking to you because my personal philosophy is the same, right? Where if something better is out there, that's what we should be teaching, right? But like you, it has to be proven, right? Not just theoretical. I think that there might be people within our community that might want to look up more information on your system. How would they do that? How would they learn more about Kalah?
Okay, I think the best platform I can give, we have 300,000 followers on our Facebook.
Okay.
So it's a lot of information and post their videos like crazy. The Facebook called Idan Abolnik, my name and surname. Okay. They can go there. They have lots of information and lots of videos. And all go to our website is www.kalahcombat.co.za. And yeah, this is the best two platforms that can reach more information.
Perfect. We'll post that up for everybody in the comments section so that they can look you up. So once again, thank you for being on Krav Life, and I enjoyed talking to you. I would really like to do it again sometime, and hopefully I get to meet you at some point in the future as well.
It's been my honor. Thank you for taking time to talk to me.
No problem.
Afternoon. Thank you.
God bless you too. Bye.
God bless you. Bye.